Welcome to the Wexford Football League Show. Welcome to the Wexford Football League Show. Tonight we're going to have our usual look at the last week's results and a few fixtures for next week. We're also going to look at the Oscar Trainer panel, and myself and Nicky are going to try to pick our teams. But first we're going to look at the role of the referee observer, and we have two local observers with us tonight. First we have Peter O'Rourke in with us. Peter, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Cheers, thanks, Aidan.
Nicky, how are you?
Not too bad. Well, Peter, you looked at last week's show.
Yeah, I did.
Does Aidan look better this week or last week?
I have to say, when he said he was shook, I didn't actually realise how shook he was till I saw him tonight. Yeah.
You must have enjoyed last week, Nicky. Eventually taller than someone on the show.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be hard now. John, they don't call him Tattoo for no reason, in fairness to him. But look, John was on, he was great, and actually just to promote that thing coming up on the 6th of November again, it's for a great cause. Steve Staunton coming down to the Ashdown in Gorey, so just to give it another shout out, a great cause, and I hope Sandra is going to purchase tickets for it this week.
Well, we get straight into them, Peter. What is a referee observer?
Well, basically, I suppose the first thing a referee observer is basically a coach. So he's there to actually coach a referee.
Not criticise him.
Not criticise him, no. Gently persuade him where he might have gone wrong, and then help him to try and correct his mistakes. But we try not to criticise anymore. You know, it's not like the old days where you'd be hiding in the ditches and stuff like that. It's all above board, meet you beforehand, you know, say, yeah, just go do your normal thing. We talk then after the game, do a post-match debrief. So basically what we're just looking for during the game then is are they following the criteria laid out by the FAI for referees?
Just going back on one thing on it there, I'd nearly prefer if you did hide in the ditch, because then you'd actually see the true reflection of the referee at times, I think.
Yeah, we hear that quite a lot. We do hear that quite a lot, that some referees tend to behave differently than they do when we're not around. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about it. The FAI want the transparency. They want this, they want things all above board. So
I think what happens, there's certain refs out there, and just go back maybe to the Mine Shamrocks game, there's some referees will ref that as a game in front of them, and they might know, right, this is going to be a few nice tackles, I let them go. But once that assessor's there, he's going to ref it completely differently, I think. That's I don't know if that's right or wrong. I think I'd rather let the refs judge how they're going to have to ref that game, and maybe not change. Understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do. No, I fully see it. Like, I mean, I was a ref for 22 years, so yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from. But the thing about it is, unfortunately, from a referee, if he wants to progress, so if you take the Category 2 referees, the guys that are there a good while, like doing the Premier Division games and stuff like that, if they want outside appointments, it's the reports that the observer does is what goes towards those appointments. The same with the younger guys. Then, if they want to move up along, if they want to get onto the League of Ireland Academy panel, or if they want to get into the Centre of Refereeing Excellence, it's the reports is what part of what their progress is based on. So.
Yeah, there's three assessors in the or observers, should I say, in the county: Paddy, Nolan, yourself, and Niall.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody understands that there actually is observers out there that do do a job for the FAI and the referees.
Yeah.
So like what kind of happens if a referee say has an absolute stinker? What happens? And on the other side, if a referee gets a couple of really good decisions, right, gets top mark, shall we say?
It's reflected in his score.
Yeah.
So obviously, if he has a stinker, like it can drop down. If he makes a serious error, it's an automatic 7.9, irrespective of how well the game went up to that point or how well the game goes after that point. That's the automatic score. The 7.9. Then, if you get that, it will carry some form of sanction.
Now,
Whether-
7.9 to me sounds like a high score. So just go through the kind of scoring first, like, because if you were to mark a player out of a 1 to 10, like if he was getting 7.9, he's probably close to thinking I might get man of the match on this. Like, so that kind of
the average score that they need to try and achieve is 8.4.
Right.
8.4 is kind of the benchmark. Anything above that is exceptional. Anything below that, he's making mistakes. Right. So you can 8.3, 8.2, 8.0, 7.9 is a serious one.
Right.
That's a serious one. That's the observer has no choice on the 7.9 if there's a serious error there.
Yeah. So what classifies?
Automatic.
We've chatted earlier on. What classifies a serious error?
It can be classified as something as issuing 2 yellow cards, failing to give the red card.
Right.
Missing, getting a goal wrong.
Yeah.
Where it's clear it has gone over the line, but in fact it hasn't. So stuff like that. It can be anything.
How do you, as an observers, judge what I mean, Nicky, always have this debate when we're not on the show about a factual thing and an opinion thing. But I mean, you say if he booked me twice, but then didn't give me a red card, that's a factual thing he got wrong.
Absolutely.
But then if there's a penalty that you might think is a stonewall penalty, but the ref actually would argue after it, no, I don't think that was a penalty. How can you judge him on that then, when that to me is an opinion of 2 people, when there's no video evidence to back it up?
Yeah.
In your case.
Basically what would happen in that scenario is it would be discussed with the referee in the post-match debrief. So we'd say, what was your thinking? What did you see? Why did you come about that decision? So basically what the referee then is kind of doing is kind of, justifying this kind of his thought process, and if it sounds reasonable, because he's the man making the decision, and if he sounds reasonable, no matter what it looks like to managers, to other players, to supporters, to me, if it sounds reasonable and he's absolutely certain that is my decision, then that's acceptable.
I say a ref get a 7.9, right?
Yeah.
How long before then is he getting assessed again to get that up? Would it be?
It would be within. It's very tight. We would try to get it within 3 to 4 weeks by one of the other observers. So it wouldn't be the same observer going back. It would be one of the other ones would go and do it. Yeah.
So obviously, probably then in theory, if we get more observers, we should get better referees.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. We ideally we should have it. The most we could have in Wexford is 5.
Right.
That's the most we could have, given on the numbers of referees. Like I said, we have, between newly qualified referees up to elite, there's 89 referees within Wexford, right, covering all games.
So just as an observer, right, we're quite lucky in the Premier League now in Wexford for the last number of years. We have 3 officials, so we have our linesmen and the man in or lady in the middle. When you go to observe a game, say further down the divisions, so like even Division 1, Division 2, the standard is at Division 3, the standard is very, very, very high.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would have probably some 18 players dropping down to play in second teams and things like that.
Yeah.
So the speed of the game is very fast.
Yeah.
Offsides.
Yeah.
Like there must be. How do you as an observer talk to a referee? Because like it's so quick.
Yeah. For me as an observer, I always take up a position where I'm judging offside. So I'm either in around just outside the 18-yard box, in around where I can see offside. So then if a referee misses one, I can say,
you missed that.
You missed that. Like you say, when you're on your own, it is very difficult. Missing an obvious one would not be good. And that's something I would take to task. A tight one, yeah, it can happen.
Yeah,
You
sure,
know,
it happens
because
everywhere.
yeah,
That's why they brought VAR in.
yeah, you know, because if it's very tight, you know, there's not a lot you can do. But if it's obvious, they should be getting it. You know, if not, it reflects in their score.
In fairness, I think your job is nearly impossible in a way, because to me it's this whole factual and opinion thing, and when you don't have that video evidence, like you said there, you're kind of like a coach, and Nicky, I'm sure, has had plenty of rows with a player as a coach. I have.
Yeah.
Do you have that then after a game in a?
In fairness, I have to say, the guys, they actually take what you're saying on board, and they actually interact very well.
Well, we might get them in next week.
Absolutely. But now, like with everything, there's always the one.
Yeah.
You know, there's always the one.
Have you had it that somebody will come back at you?
Oh yeah. But they don't want to hear. You know, they don't want to know. That's just but all that would happen there is that gets put in the report. Their interaction gets put in the report, and in the final part of the report there is, you know, a comments box on personality and advice and stuff like that, and that's where it get added in, that they failed to interact, or they didn't interact well, they didn't take on board. You know.
So, how long are you observing now?
This is my second year now.
Oh, only second.
Yeah, my
I
second
thought you were
year.
longer around, didn't I?
No, I am, Nicky, longer. You're used to seeing me, you see, in the middle. Yeah. No.
So, just in it then, obviously it's a tough job being a manager, going in and talking to players if they've done something wrong, or if you're dropping them or things like that. I presume it's tough personally going in and talking in dressing rooms to referees.
It is because like with coaches and players, you know them. You know, you know them a long time. You know, you consider them friends. You know, so you're going in and you're trying to give advice to some guys who could be refereeing, you know, just as long as you were.
Yes.
You know, but in fairness, I have to say that the vast majority of them take him in the spirit that it's intended. You know, they know that if they want to have some kind of a career, say like outside appointments for the top guys, or the likes of the two guys we have now in the Centre of Referee and Excellence, Ehor and O'McAuliffe, who just moved in there, like they would have interacted very well with observers right throughout their process. I mean, when
Turley Carses.
Huh?
Turley Carses. I know I'm only messing.
No, you can see the guys that are willing to learn, and they're willing, and they won't just pull it off the observer. They will pull it from other referees as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, in fairness, I've seen, now I don't know Ehor a whole lot, but I've seen Owen going to other games, looking at referees, chatting to referees and things like that. So obviously that is a trait in him, and he's only a young guy, so you'd hope that he would follow the footsteps like as Alan at the minute, Alan Franklin.
Exactly, yeah.
League of Ireland refs are assessed every match, though.
Every match, every match, yeah.
And then in general for the assessors here, I know Paddy's at a long time. Do you have to have so many years of refereeing experience to become an observer?
Yeah, the way the process goes is the FAI will send out a notification or think they're running a course, and they will invite applications from referees. And you would submit an application and kind of like your mini CV, how long you've been reffing, where you've reffed, stuff like that, what level you've reffed to, and then they will actually say yeah or nay to your application. If you get your application successful, you go then and do a 1-day course somewhere around the country, where they take in from all over the country. At the end of that 1 day, then you will do your 2-part laws of the game exam, with a video assessment and a questions and an answer. If you're successful on that, you will be given a match, either League of Ireland Premier game or a European game, and you will told do a report on a trio report, so a report on the referee and the 2 assistants on that game. You submitted that. If that's successful, then there's an interview process, right, which you go through. If you pass the interview process, then you're issued a provisional license. You then go out for 3 games with one of the already established observers to do observing under their tutelage. You submit those 3 reports. If they're still happy with that, then you get issued your full license. And then every year, then you have to reapply for your license and submit 3 reports from your season with your application to see are you acceptable again.
And then would you be tested each year then on the laws of the game as well? Like then you just have a...
There is a National Development Day where all observers go up to FAI headquarters in Dublin and for development, and then you do the laws of the game test again.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, isn't there?
It's not more than I thought. I'll be honest, I thought you came
Put
with
your
a big...
hand up, I want to be an observer. You just got in.
I thought you were given a clipboard and a fancy coat and away they went.
No, we do get a lovely little briefcase and a notebook, with FAI logos on it. So yeah, we get something for it.
Well, one more question for you. And you were going to stay with us to chat about Jostle trainers. In fairness, you do be down at all the games there last year doing the observing. Forgetting a complete train of thought now. In the Premier game, like obviously you showed us the scoring sheet. So there's a lot to it, so you have to keep fully concentration. I presume that when you're doing Premier games, it's only the referee that's being this.
No, we must do both the linesman as well
and the ref
and the referee
on your own to do.
Yes.
And is there a different criteria for the linesman, as in
for the assistants? Like it would be how they're judging offsides, if they're given how they move up and down the line, are they holding the line with the second last defender, how they carry their flag, how their signals are they given free kicks in their vicinities if they occur, and how they handle substitutions.
So actually, just on that now, this is one more question.
What?
Would you then be saying to a referee, because like I remember being on the line and certain linesmen would say everything out there on the field of play is the referee's call. Would you be advising then for the lines people, like, or is there a rule in place that they should be doing this or what? Like they're assistant referees. That was always my argument.
Yeah. The thing is, before the game starts, the referee will give them the instruction.
Yeah.
So he will say to them, your vicinity is from the 6-yard box out to your touchline, right, from the halfway line down, right, and in that area you can make calls. So in other words, if a free kick happens in your vicinity, you can signal it and you can make the call.
Yeah.
Right. Same if
and is that just up to the referee each day, or can they?
I was going to ask, is that instruction the same thing every Sunday?
That instruction is the same.
That should be the instruction.
It should be the instruction.
No matter who's reffing it.
Yeah, that's what they should be given. The only time they would give, because I know
it still allows the referee.
But the only time they would give, as you called, as you were saying earlier, there was one which was on the far side of the field.
Yeah.
Is if the referee is, like, just say he's at the halfway line and it's a long ball up, there's no way in hell he's going to get it. Well, then he may call out to the assistant, it's yours.
Yeah.
You know, and especially if they're mic'd up, you know, it's yours. And then he can make that call. Right. And that's the only time it will happen during the game. But before the game, there would be the pre-match instruction to the assistants that they have to follow.
Certain areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Ral. Look, we'll have a few more questions for Niall later on. We might grill him a bit more.
We'll go down on that. He's only fresh. He's not as word in his feet.
We have the Oscar trainer. I think it's next Wednesday night again, Carlo.
Yeah, next Wednesday night, Ferry Carrick.
Again, Carlo. Hope it don't rain.
God.
I'll be alright. League of Ireland is over. I know.
That was bad last year.
It was, yeah. I blame the referee, observers, and the referees for allowing the game to go ahead.
So, new management this year. Willie Pear, the two finished the management team. You know more than I do.
Yeah, but there's Willie Pear. There's Nick Finn is involved. Con Cooney, Billy Byrne as well as in as admin, and
Mark Ross surely.
Mark Ross is in doing a bit of coaching. So yeah, good backroom team, and look a big squad. 25 players.
Well, you've only given me 21, so you should get me call out. I'm going to call out a panel now. Just want to let everyone know. Nicky has given me this. I haven't a clue if it's the right panel or not, but he informs me it is.
I'll let you know if you left anybody out.
Then Nicky's going to pick a team. I'm going to pick a team. We'll give Peter he's an option. We might talk a few people in out of the squad, out of panel as well, and if anyone have any what they believe the team should be, just send it in there in a message. So it's the squad Nicky has given me is Paul Brennan, Conor Bruce, Ryan Busher, Ian Sinnott, Ethan Vickers, Conor Casserly, Niall Connolly, Ryan Cullen, Nathan Curran, Gary Delaney, Todd Hines, Stephen Kinsley, Jason Maguire, Sean Murphy, Reese Murphy, Gavin O'Brien, Glenn O'Brien, John Pear, Keane Brown, Owen Rhodes and Alan Rhodes. I suppose, Nicky, the first thing to jump out to me is a very strong Premier division with 11 teams, and yet we've only 4 teams represented on the squad. But then you can't, it's a savage squad in fairness, you can't argue with us all. I just thought maybe...
Why are you asking me then?
Just
Can't argue on it.
No, it's player-wise it's good, but I'm just saying with 11 very strong teams in the Premier, I thought maybe I might have a little bit more. And then outside the Premier, I suppose you could maybe look past Shea, but one person for me I think would deserve a shout is in the goalkeeping ranks would be Paul Darcy at Tom Brack. I think he definitely deserves to be in that squad as a goalkeeper, if not maybe even starting in it, in my opinion, but it's only my opinion.
Yeah, look at Paul Darcy has been really, really good goalkeeper. Suppose you could look at Paul Burns as well.
Paul Burns
with Aldgate Division 3.
Yeah.
So look at there's definitely talent down. Gary Murphy has started the season on fire as well with Enniscorthy United, another really good goalkeeper. I don't think you gave much of a chance that time, did you, in Dubai?
You have plenty of chances.
But no, like they're really good goalkeepers. In fairness to them, I suppose I was a bit surprised seeing Gorey's number 1 and number 2 in it with Keane Brown and Aaron Hall. No, really, I suppose there could be 2 number 1s. I don't know. He might be chopping and changing goalkeepers, but look at it's very hard to argue.
I didn't call out Paul Murphy there because you didn't give me that. I'm presuming he's in the squad spot.
Well, he's not on the list that I got anyway. So but look at I would it's a savage strong squad. Very, very hard to look past like Gorey, North End and even the few from Ford Celtic. Like Gorey, North End are right up there with the top teams out throughout the whole country, and Ford Celtic are doing their damn best to try and catch them.
Yeah, and he surprised you in the squad, Peter? Or?
No, I like you. I would like to see some coming from some of the other teams. There are some good players out there who don't get the recognition that they deserve because of how, I won't say how poorly their teams are playing, but how well they're not doing within the league. But as expected, okay, Gorey, North End, Ford, they're the top 3 teams at the moment.
Yeah,
they look like that's going to be the trio at the end of the season. So,
and you have to look at it as well. And I'll be honest, me being a member on the county board, it's not that I didn't agree that Willie should get the job, but I think it's a damn tough job to do while you're managing. And I thought the same with Ken last year, and like I talking on my own experience, like you don't get around to see the games, you don't get around to do as much as you should. You're concentrating on your own team week in, week out, and it's an extremely tough job. So what I like maybe about Willie's squad is he knows
the players he's picking.
He knows the players he's picking. He's not taking a chance on anybody because he knows that he has a certain period of time to work with these lads. He knows that they're going to be coached within their club, and he has very little to do with them, so it could be a good move.
So Nicky, we both picked a team in a 4-3-3, to start with your keeper.
Well, you were picking a different formation, but
I would have liked to pick a diamond, but I don't know if that squad suits a diamond. But
yeah, I had a little slip of paper there.
I know it off the top of your head.
Actually, look, I have found it just in case I do make a mistake.
Murphy make a mistake? Never.
Well, like, look at it would have been a 4-3-3, I suppose. Jason in the goal. I would have Casso right full back. You can't be bet. Great full back. Todd Hines left full back. So two really good players are going to give you width for your diamond aim, and if you're going to play it. And then, like, look at for me, you have Gary Delaney and you have Ryan Cullen, the 2 centre halves. So so that would be my back 4.
Yeah, not much different, to be honest with you. Jason in goal, Connor right back, Todd Hines left back. I think 2 of them picked themselves no matter who's probably picking the team. Centre half, I would probably go with Ian Sinnott and Gary Delaney, but I think Ian is carrying a nasty enough injury, so I'd probably go with Sean Murphy and Gary. Sean Murphy Gorey in there beside Gary.
Yeah, but the only probably reason I wouldn't go with Gary and Sean, the 2 of them are, for me, the 2 of them are probably a bit straight. They're big, they're tall, athletic. Ryan would be a little bit more agile, maybe a little bit more of a footballer, and can step out with the ball in the centre. So that'd be the only reason.
Ryan could easily be left back either.
Do you know something? You were meant to be the football manager, and yet you went with the two big, strong
Yes.
lads that are going to drive
The
the
rest
ball
of me-
left
wait,
field.
no, you saying Gary and Sean don't play?
I know they
Yes,
do.
you
they
hear
do.
that, Gary?
So,
Nicky says you can't play.
I know Gary can play.
He can.
Gary played midfield for my father for many years in the Kennedy Cup.
No, I've seen Sean. Sean can play as well.
I know they can.
Your midfield three.
Alan Rhodes, I would go with, and a player I was really, really impressed with last year, especially when I thought he dropped out into midfield a bit. He played a little bit in the front three with Gorey, but I was impressed with more. It was Ethan Vickers. He's tall, he's athletic, he gets around the pitch. So I would go with Ethan and Gavin O'Brien.
Yeah, my three will be a little bit different. Alan Rhodes will be the one that'll be the same. Then I'll have, because of the football, Stephen Kinsler and John Pear.
So you're playing with 2 6s and one pushing forward.
Stephen playing the 10, Alan can be the 8, and John can be the 10. Or they can just three. Well, I'd like about three of them. I think three of them would interchange all day. I think they'd understand each other.
There was no fear that you weren't picking John Pear anyway, that's for sure.
Why not? He's a good footballer.
I know John's a good player. Really good.
Your front three.
Obviously you'd have to go with a big number 9, Owen Rhodes, straight through the middle. He's a goal scoring machine. And then look at the I haven't seen Ryan yet this year. But if he was playing anything like he did last year, Ryan would have to go out on one wing for me. And like what Ryan gives you, he's pace, power, strong.
Yeah.
He has that bit of everything. And Paul Brennan will be out on the other one. I thought. I think whenever Gorey do stuff good, I think Paul Brennan is normally in the heart of it, and he would have been another one. But look, it's a serious panel.
Yeah, and even when you go pick 11, my front three would be 2 of yours as well, Owen Rhodes and Paul Brennan. The other one would be just a player I always love, and every time I see him playing, I just think he can always do something on the ball. Is Niall Connolly. I just think he's a fabulous player, and he's still young.
Yeah.
But look, you could put it differently. Like I've left Gavin O'Brien out of that team.
Yeah.
It's probably in everyone's team, and it's just purely because of Stephen Kilnall and John, and it's just opinions. You said Ryan Busher, and then you probably could pick another 11 that's not in that squad that would fancy themselves in that.
Yeah, easily. And like for me, Stephen Kinsler is probably one of the best players we've played against. Stephen can pick up the ball anywhere and hurt you. The thing, one of the reasons why John and Niall for me would be really good impact subs. Like Niall Connolly come in, he's set piece delivery and things like that. John is really intelligent, so if a team is tiring, like you're looking at John because he's super intelligent footballer. He picks up the ball in space. He attacks little areas of play that teams are tiring. So like if you really go into it, that'd be my 11.
Which team do you like the best, Peter?
Well, I have to say, right, and I don't mean I disrespect you, Aidan, purely because you have Ryan in there. I would actually go with your team, purely because like you, I think last season he didn't get enough of fair shake. Yeah, he should have got more game time than he actually did. So just purely on that one.
Always
player.
told you the refs went for you over me. Always bloody said it. Now a proof. Proves me point.
But look, it's a great panel.
It
It's
is.
great. It's a
Super
great
panel.
team.
And he's
Yeah.
looking. I was probably maybe a little bit unfair. Maybe by saying maybe more clubs, but then when you look at it and you go to pick the 11, it's
super strong.
you'd argue who could win. Like it's a Ben Duffy, it's a Paul Shea, Paul Larcy.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of players outside of it, but
Yeah, look at there is, and look at it.
chap
mean-
from Cross the Beg, I can't think of his name now. Used to play at Wexford Football League. A really good season. Can't think of his name.
Who? What
He's up front
position?
from
Oh, Aaron Lambert.
Aaron Lambert. Yeah, he's had a
So-
really good season this year.
Yeah. Look at there is, and there's definitely players dotted within the county. But let me tell you, if you're getting in that squad,
You're a good player.
You're a good player.
Yeah.
You're a damn good player. There's no passengers.
No.
Like in that. So, and look, it's our job to pick
It's the
and
same
pull at
format as last year, not is it?
Same
before.
format. Home to Carlow, and then I think there are a couple of away games there in it this year. But no, look, it's just very similar format.
And
Next Wednesday night, so it's a
there'll be
massive
Wexford
week.
referees.
So
So the appointment of that referee, then have you any say on that? as
No,
observers?
usually it's Pádraig who will appoint those referees. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sometimes he will consult. Sometimes.
That was the question I could think of, and Niall might know the answer, so I'll ask you now before you go. The score that you give, who sees that then? Does
Right.
Pádraig see it? Do Wexford County Board see it?
No,
Well, if we do, I
we are.
haven't.
No. We are slowly.
I suppose what I'm asking, does that affect the appointment of referees to big games, like the game Wednesday night, cup finals, big games in the league.
Oh yeah, reports can like the report goes obviously to the FAI. The referee sees it. Then it's the other observers would see it, obviously, so they know what to look for the next time they see him. And Pádraig wouldn't see it. We have as a test. I have done one of the online ones where we do this online.
Yeah, with the Connect and that.
Yeah, with the Connect and that. Now, when that was done, Pádraig can see that. Yeah, so he can read it, but no one else can.
Well, that's it, because I seen it actually one of the days when I was flicking through it, that it came up on the fixture. Referee observer Peter O'Rourke.
Yeah,
do you know? So like, and it's good to see.
It is, and we done it as a test now. The problem with it was obviously was and why we haven't done any more of them is because the referee couldn't actually view it.
No.
So I still had to do a typed one and email it to him. So there was just that little glitch there. But he would. But normally, what we would do is if someone has a referee, then Paddy would talk to Pádraig and say, look, okay, we need to step this guy back a little bit. You know, maybe drop him down a division or two just till he gets back into the swing of things and, you know, stuff like that.
Well, I suppose confidence goes with players, it goes with referees as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And managers.
And, any referee out there can have a bad day. I've had plenty of them myself over the years, you know, and you want to say, oh, God, how did I get everything so wrong? Just the nature
one
of
them days,
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Peter. We'll swap you out there now for Niall.
No problem at all.
So I think as we're waiting for Niall to come in, Wexford FC,
Peter.
another big game tomorrow night in the playoff.
Yeah, and look at, I suppose,
Again then Monday night, isn't it? At home.
yeah, at Lone Monday 3:00 and tomorrow night.
It's a Ferry Carrick 3 o'clock.
Yeah, Monday. Massive game for Wexford FC. It's been a great season, and I suppose we want to say congratulations to fellow Enniscorthy man and making Division 1 Player of the Year, Aaron Dobbs. Yeah. So congratulations, Dobbs. He was in with us a couple of weeks ago, but look at it's a great feat, isn't it, to be named?
I think they'll feel as a squad and management that want to get to the final of that again. It will be Drogheda, I think. One of the balls kept safe last week, so it is Drogheda, I think. Yeah. They'll want to get to that final, so it's a two-legged playoff this week, then another two-legged playoff again.
Look, it's one of them great FAI.
Bray, who's another one? Bray and
UCD. But it's one of these FAI things now that I think is absolutely crazy. It's more about not letting the Premier team drop down than it is to stay up. So you have to come out of a two-legged thing in a playoff to get into a playoff.
Division 1, I'd say, competitive and not let teams give up after. If you didn't have that playoff, the fifth team getting into a playoff, like
Eden, they're professional players. They shouldn't be
Division 1. They're not professional.
Yeah, they're getting paid. 90% of them are.
They're not.
So
they're getting paid, but they're not professional.
It's a professional league.
They're not training.
There's gambling on it.
They're not training. Just gambling on the Wexford Premier League.
Well, there won't be if James Brown has his way.
Right, we move on then. Niall, welcome.
How are you, Niall?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks, Nicky.
Good.
So, I suppose the first question I'll ask you is, did you give up reffing to become an observer, or did refereeing give up on you?
Yeah, interesting question, Aidan. I think as a referee, I probably set my goals to where I wanted to go as a referee, and I was involved in all the cup finals. The youths one was the last one I officiated in, but I had medals from all the other cup finals. I refereed, I think, all the derbies, Gorey, Enniscorthy and Wexford at some stage, or was involved in them as an assistant referee. So I ticked all the boxes in Wexford. I probably felt that I progressed as far as I was going to progress. And luckily enough, the cohort of referees, when I joined the branch, there was Boppy and Sean, they're still there, but they were really at their prime. And then as I was leaving the branch, Alan Franklin was there. So I was a tier 1 referee for the last few years. And with Alan progressing to the School of Excellence, I was lucky enough then to get a good few external appointments. It's mainly on the back of Alan. Yeah. But we all individually have to achieve our targets as well. So we did the FAI semi-final, the Junior Cup semi-final between Peak and Oliver Bond in Dublin. And then shortly after we did the 19s FAI Cup final. So I kind of knew after that game that I'd achieved everything that I could achieve. And as well as that, then injuries and stuff as a referee, when I was refereeing, the standard of play in the county was getting higher and higher, and the age of players was probably getting younger and younger. So the fitness level required to keep going. As a personal standard, I was training 3 and 4 times a week, and then I changed job and I hadn't got time to do it. So you're going out on a Sunday and you're going on to a Premier game.
Bit sluggish.
The back of your mind, I didn't train for 3 or 4 days.
So
starting to compromise your performance.
Yeah, so like obviously we're still touching on you as a referee then. So that would have been in your mind then, that you, from your appointment the Sunday or the Monday before, you were processed to get yourself right for that.
Yeah, and then
whether you were on the line or in the middle.
The training was the same. Like, we were training, and we've been over Christmases. We were down in the woods with Poppy Fenlon, and you'd be trying to keep up with him. When you feel your body is starting to get compromised, and it does creep in. It's like a player going out to play a match. If you think a bit of a niggle in your knee, your mental process is different. And if you can't train, and that's one of the, as an assessor, that's one of the things I'll be looking out for fitness in referees. That's just a personal standard.
Yeah.
So I would bring that into my assessing as well.
Peter described it there kind of like a coaching role. So you're just after giving up the refereeing, you're gone into that. Now, I know when I gave up playing and went straight into coaching, the biggest thing I had to overcome was you're telling people that you used to play with or maybe hang around with and go out with what to do and how to do it and when to do it. And you knew someone looking back at you going,
what does he know?
Yeah, what?
How
do you deal with that when you're going into that dressing room after a game? And if someone you might have been on the line with, or you could have been in the middle and they're on the line for you, and have had a bad day, and you go in and tell them that, what's that like for you? Is it hard? And you get that look back sometimes off them going, I'm a better ref than you ever were. What are you doing telling me?
Yeah, you're always gonna get that, and no matter whether you're an assessor getting judged by referees or a referee getting judged by players and managers, you're always going to be judged. Once you put your head above the turret,
just go out the front door, you're being judged.
You're being judged. I do a lot of coaching in a professional capacity, and I do that kind of stuff through work as well. So I suppose, Aidan, there's probably a coldness to it and a frankness to it, where you have to disconnect from.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That comes, I think, with time. Are you able to get that now straight? Well, are you comfortable going into? I just because he's probably the highest ranked ref in Wexford, Sean Grant. Would you be comfortable going in now to? Well, put him right or wrong?
Funny enough, I assessed Sean last week on a county team against New Ross Celtic.
He got 6.4.
6.7. No, but I did that. That wasn't something that I had to do, but one of the reasons I did it was for that very reason, Aidan, to assess Sean and have the mentality to go and tell him he's doing something wrong, or
in your eyes, or ask give me your take on this.
Yeah.
Why did you? I thought it was this. Why did you? Give it free for that.
Yeah, and the other side is there's learning in it. It was more a learning curve for me, because Sean is used to getting assessed by the top assessors in the country, and some of the top assessors in Europe if he's on a UEFA game. So Sean gets the report, he can read it, then he can give me feedback, and he said, look, that's too harsh, or that's not strong enough. It's a learning thing. You need to learn from the top people in the branch, because they're not going to be there forever. I was lucky that cohort was so tight.
I suppose we are quite lucky in Wexford that at the minute we have, I know Michelle is retired, but she's still in and around the branch. But you have your Boppies, your Sean Grants, your Alan Franklins now. We're getting that League of Ireland. I don't ever remember a time where we've had so many referees involved in such a high level.
Yeah, and there's other referees then, 100%, Nicky, there's other referees in the branch that have the potential to be that good, and probably are that good in many ways, but hadn't got the time to commit to the league. So there's a lot of criteria required to go to the School of Excellence and go through a programme. Like Alan went through the refereeing programme in Dublin.
Yeah.
And that's huge commitment. Like, I'd be talking to Alan, and it's weekends away. He has a fairly serious job as well. You're giving up that. And And once you get on the panel, then you could be up in Finn Harps on
Yeah.
a Friday. You're taking half days off work. Could be in Waterford on the Sunday. There's a lot of travel.
So
a lot of
just
commitment.
we'll go back to your job maybe then as an assessor. So you're walking
Observer.
in, or an observer, should I say? Sorry, Eden. You're walking into, shall we say, North End, Sunday morning, 11 o'clock kick off. Where does your morning start? Like, obviously, it starts getting out of bed.
And everyone
but
sees you coming in, and
when do you
everyone,
start
including the ref,
getting-
goes, "Oh, here we go."
Shite.
Yeah.
So what you get to the gates in North End?
Yeah.
Roughly what time would you be there to try to be there? What would your protocol be for that?
Just
90
quickly,
minutes?
do the referees know prior?
No,
No.
I wouldn't. And you tell them on the day, they'll see you anyway. So
Yeah,
you were talking to Peter about
So-
that. Get to the ground, right? Premier game.
Yeah.
Three officials on the game. Officials should be there an hour beforehand. Right. You're observing. You probably get there around 20 past 10 for an 11 kickoff. I would. At that stage, the field of players have to be checked. Make sure it's playable, marked, corner flags, goal nets, the basics. The referee should be after checking the gear with the two teams, keeper's gear. Then they decide what gear they're going to wear. That should all be that should be seamless.
Yeah.
Because that should be arranged between the three officials and the clubs during the week. They should generally know the colours of the clubs.
Yeah.
The official. So there should be no hiccups there. If there is, it's not really acceptable. Then you're looking at the referees warming up. That's your standard.
That sets your tone.
That sets your tone, right? The players are there early. They're warming up as professional as possible with the manager. You have the referees acting as professionally, sets the tone.
Yeah.
Right? They go in then, you're watching this, they go in, pre-match is done in the dressing room. So you're not party to that pre-match. That's
Right.
a conversation between the referee and the two officials. Ideally, the gear is checked leaving the dressing room. So undergarments, jewelry,
Boots, pads, whatever, yeah.
all that should be done. Now, that goes for any referee at any level.
Yeah.
That's not to do those checks and balances. Isn't a requirement of being fit or
Yeah,
your
yeah.
ability to referee. That's basic admin stuff. So that's standard stuff. If you're getting that wrong, going out on the field, you're in bother. Okay. Then to go out on the field, obviously, and referee the game. So you're watching the same. That's what Peter was saying. You're looking for serious incidents, how they're dealt with. If there's a brawl in the game, how does the referee manage himself?
If a referee misses something in the first half,
Yeah.
can you go to him at halftime and talk to him, or would an observer to go?
No.
No,
No.
that's not.
No.
That never be
No.
the case.
No.
So you can't. You don't. Well, it's not that you can't. You just
Don't interfere.
You don't
You
interfere.
shouldn't let you're not refereeing the game. You're observing. You're almost external to what's
happening.
happening. Yeah, you're there as a representative of the FAI. The referees are there as representatives of the branch.
Yeah.
We don't have to be branch members.
Yeah.
So it's two separate entities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's after the game.
And can you be a branch member and be a assessor? Do you have to
Observer.
come away from observer?
You can, because you can be an observer and a referee if you referee.
Yeah.
And
if
then,
there's no conflict.
and he's only observe refs then in the adult men game, or is it done on a Saturday at schoolboys? Is it done at the women's league, or is it just
It's-
solely the adult men's game?
Yeah, across all Aiden, and I'm working with Simon. Simon's the schoolboys fixture secretary
Yeah.
now, and I work with Simon, and that's probably the area that I see myself adding most value is in the schoolboys, and getting the new referees should really do 6 months in schoolboys, and that's where I probably can add most value.
Obviously Paddy's not here tonight. Just Paddy's been around 100 years or more, hasn't he? Do you know, especially refereeing. I'm sure he's a great sounding board. He's been an observer for a number of years. So, do you check in and out with Paddy from time to time?
Yep, Paddy is our boss, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
So we would let Paddy know the games we're observing on, and it's not that he has to give us a green light, but he monitors who's been observed, and if someone hasn't been observed, then he might say, oh, he's been observed twice, and go and see someone else. Yeah, so he helps there. Obviously, huge wealth of experience. And then we have if there is issues with the branch as well, if they are getting feedback, that generally will come back to us as well. But if someone is putting in consistently performing at a inadequate standard, you're going to hear anyway, because your phone is pinging the whole time.
Yeah.
So just through context and stuff.
So when you decide to observe a referee, does the game he's doing that weekend have an influence? Or is it, if you get me, so Joe Bloggs was reffing North End versus Gorey, and you wanted to assess him, would you maybe not assess him that game because it's such a big game, maybe wait for maybe a lesser game, or is it more important to go assess him in that big game? Does the game come into it when you're assessing him, or is it decided well out? Is there a list every week that you just have to go, no matter where they're reffing or who they're reffing?
No, it's where obviously the big games you want an assessor on anyway. So your cup finals, your Wexford Cup finals, your semi-finals, you're going to be assessed.
Yeah.
If there's a serious concern, that might orientate you to observe someone in a particular game.
I suppose it's kind of quite similar to us. Like, you want to go watch the big games anyway.
You do.
You know,
yeah,
so,
I mean,
but I know what you're saying.
I just think a ref is going to be, if he's reffing Gorey North, then
he's going to be heightened awareness.
Yeah, he's going to be up for it anyway. He's going to do everything properly. If he was maybe doing, no disrespect to the lower division, if he was doing a game in the lower division the following week, he mightn't be on his game as much. Is it more maybe then to assess him in that scenario than in the scenario where he's going to be on his game?
Now, that's a really valid point, and that is the benchmark of a good referee. If you have a referee in Shamrock Rovers doing mine and Rovers, and everyone's at it, of course, they're thinking a week, they get appointed, everything is going to be, all the boxes are going to be ticked or should be ticked, okay? The only thing that is going to impair their performance there is themselves if there's a bad call, and they should be 100% focused. If there was a match in a rural club on a Sunday at 1:30, and there's an FA Cup semi-final probably on lashing rain, something in that circumstance, and there's only 5 or 6 people there, that's when you'll see the proper.
That's kind of my point. Like,
100%, and they're the games that I think Peter brought it up before, where the referees generally know you're going to observe them. There is validity in the point that you made. It's doing the right thing when you're not being watched.
And that's the big thing. Like, I think Charlie Stacey actually wasn't happy with me one time. I said to him, like, why would you turn up with your big FAI coat and your flipboard? Everybody knows that you're here. The referee's not going to be the same. Do you know, like I said, why don't you hide, or why don't you send somebody, an assessor from outside of the county, in to assess some of the referees at times? And I suppose there is that valid point, but then there is that, and everybody has to be upfront and honest nowadays. So it's a difficult job for you.
And just you made that point about, can observers from Kilkenny, Wicklow be asked by somebody to observe Wexford referees?
You would be observed for external appointments by default by an external. So I've been observed by external observers, FAI observers. But
I think I was introduced to one, was it last year? I think did Gorey play at home in the FAI semi-final last year? Yeah, they did, up in Bunclody. Yeah, there was an outside observer down at that game, and I met Matt up at the game. I was chatting to him for a couple of minutes after the game, but I think there is outside ones.
Peter was saying there, I asked about, on a Premier game, you just have to observe the three of them. But if someone was going, I'll just take Michelle's career, she was always going to be the lines person. If there's someone now wanting to go to be a lines person, can they be just observed for their performance on the line, if you get me? Because all they want to be is to go professional maybe at a lines person, or is there a separate?
So the assessment is all the one. So Brian Fenlon, as a prime example, he's an assistant referee at the top level. Like, he's doing it years and years and years. So
I'll be honest, I thought he'd retire before Michelle.
Brian is probably,
he's flying it.
Yeah, he's one of the fittest people that I know. He could have been an athlete if he wasn't a referee. But he would be assessed as part of a trio. But obviously, if there was a
Paul McAuliffe just wanted to be just
an assistant referee,
referee.
Yeah, so he could be put
Would you
on
just be observing him just solely?
Generally, no. But someone like Rob Hennessy from the FAI could come down and observe him with me.
Yeah.
And he could just focus on the assistant.
Yeah.
So you could put an emphasis on one over the other two, but generally it's the trio that get assessed.
Last question, and you're going to stay with us and go through the results because you're impartial now, you're not reffing anymore, but what's easier, reffing or observing? What's better paid?
You get very little as an observer, only the
grief.
Well, you get more grief as a referee. But what's easier? Like the refereeing came probably more natural in some ways.
Yeah,
You
get a buzz off when you're playing. You get a buzz.
Yeah,
when you're refereeing, there's a buzz as well.
Raging. I was meant to ask Peter. We chatted to him before it about you're not observing really that long. I was meant to ask Peter, has he ever come across a referee that he just completely said should never be refereeing? Have you yet?
No, yeah, that's why he's observing.
Yeah.
Peter observed me on his last game. On my last game.
You haven't come across one yet? You don't have to name him, but...
No, not yet. I've come across referees that
frustrate you,
that can improve. I really find it difficult when there isn't an investment in the role. Like a player that turns up and only half interested. It's the same with refereeing. Whether they're good, whether they put in a good performance or a bad performance, you want to see the investment. A player can go out and give 100% and they can give away 2 penalties.
Yeah. A referee can go out and do 20% and give away 2 penalties as well.
Exactly. But you need people to be invested and care about the role.
No, and I'll be honest, I remember, like, obviously being as a manager, you knew certain referees were coming up to collect a few pound, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then you knew other referees were invested in it. And, like, people, we probably would have give out a little bit about, say, your Sean Grant a couple of years ago. Sean would ring you in during the week and say, like, what colours are you wearing? What's this? What's that? And I know Bobby done it as well. That's coming from their training, and they were only rising the levels of where we had to be.
I think when Sean came back to ref when the Aircom League went summer and he was able to ref the winter games, I actually think he brought, and I was frustrated. I remember my dad losing the plot with him one day because he came in and checked the air in the balls, and my dad said to him, "Are these going to be checked every week?" And he said, "Probably not." Well, then why are you checking them? But I think he's brought that level of professionalism now to it since he's came back. I think that is
personal standard.
Yeah,
and that's look, and it's been great, you know, and it's brilliant now to have 3 officials going to games, because especially in the Premier games, because we know as managers the amount of effort that's gone into it, to players, the dedication, the time, and when you see 3 officials turning up, 3 of them are tuned in, it does make it a lot better.
Yeah,
for me anyway. Yeah.
I think maybe what this shows them by bringing under refs, it showed what effort is in refereeing, because I'll be straight.
And the observer.
Until Peter explained how to become observer, I just thought, you put your hand up, I'll observe.
But even the sheet there, the Peter, maybe we might see, can we post it? Maybe we won't be allowed to show it, but how referees are marked and graded. Like, there's a lot of people out there of a Sunday morning don't realise that there is observers out there and that you can be stood down from a game if you're really poor. But also there can be credit when the referees are being really good.
Yeah, and like the refereeing, then, is there a chance for you to go further in the observing?
Yeah, my personality is I want to observe as at a local level, get up the experience, and then try and go to regional and then
League of Ireland.
Yeah, 100%.
So your ambition will be to go further with it, like?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
There's massive opportunities in it. Travel the world doing it as well, couldn't it? You know,
that keeps you pushing.
Some of the top ones.
Keep doing it right. Keep pushing your own standard. Yeah, you need a goal. Like a player, you need a goal. You need targets. You need cups to win. It's the same as observing, refereeing.
Brilliant.
We'll get through the results, and then we go up with the biggest division in the league, Division 5. We had Castle Arkle 4-2 winners against Timon. All Blacks losing out to Rant Newer 2-0. Tom Brack, who are on top of the table, beating Cora 2-1. Your own club Shamrocks beating Gorey 2-1. Leonard's losing out 3-2 to Adamstown. Enniscorthy United beating Wexford Celtic 5-1. I suppose maybe Tom Brack being maybe surprising that. 7 games played, 6 wins, 1 draw, 19 points.
Yeah, they're going quite well. 6 points clear. I know Castle Dock will have a game in hand, but the one thing Tom Brack are doing, they're scoring goals, 34 goals. They're only conceding 7. So it's definitely been a great start for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, and look at Gorey Celtic ran away with that division last year. I think it's going to be with the splitting. How do you feel about that division splitting halfway through it? That's still happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Keeps it competitive for everyone. And
I suppose give Wexford Celtic only 1 point there. I suppose this give them something that they're still at the second half season to have something to look forward to, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. And look, down at that level, there's not that many lads going to be getting chances to go and win in the league. So if you do split it, you're going to have two Division 5 winners, really, a Division 5 and a Division 5A. So look, it's about making sure that we have lads out on pitches of a Sunday, and it's to try and keep that league as competitive as possible.
Yeah, it gives everyone a chance once you get to the halfway.
Yeah. When you were ref, I always wanted to ask a ref this. When you were reffing, and say you reffed the Shamrocks and Gorey in the Premier, and then you had Shamrocks in Division 5 at half one. Not that you treat the game, but you were saying earlier about your body probably told you to
Mentally
give up refereeing.
tired.
Yeah, were you at the same capability to ref that game as you were the first game?
No. It's taking them too long to answer.
If
I might not be asking the question right.
If you were rattled, if you had a really tough game, okay, a really tough game, like a player, and if you're rattled after it, it does take time to recompose and reset. You probably would have a bit of distraction, because if you were seriously challenged in the first game, that just doesn't. You don't just go home and turn that off.
Yeah.
You're always, was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? Should I give him a red instead of a yellow?
Yeah.
Was Nicky right what he said to me after the match? Was Aidan right what he said at half time? But they're the things that
Peter proved Nicky always got the rubber agreement refs.
I don't know about that now. I'd say I had a lot more suspensions than you did.
It's because you were louder.
I don't know.
The results Division 4, for Celtic, 2-1 winners against Cushintown. Cormac's 3-0 winners against Kilteely. It looks like it's going to be a shootout between Ford and Cormac's in this division. Camolan 3-all with Shelburne. And Curracloe beating Euro Celtic 2-1. As I said, we have Cormac's on top, 6 games played, 4 wins, 2 draws, 14 points. Ford with the 1 defeat on 13 points, 6 games played as well. Cushinstown, game in hand on both of them, will probably be up there as well.
Yeah, definitely, Aidan. You have to give credit to Fort Celtic again. That's their third team. Nibs Hayes and all of them. They're battling away up at the top of that division. They're doing great work down there. Cushinstown, St. Cormac's first team.
Interesting. There's a good few first teams in that.
Yeah, there's a few.
Kilteely.
I thought Kilteely were going to go quite well this year. They signed a lot of players and John Nugent and the lads are down there. So I thought they would have went probably a little bit better. The season hasn't started as good for them, but you have to give credit to St. Cormac's back in the league. One of the oldest clubs to I think they were one of the founder member clubs. Cormac's and the only country team to have won the Premier. So you have to give them credit to the lads out there to get that club back going, and they're looking quite strong.
And you then as referee, when you were reffing, and even if you're observing a game, would you check the league table before it? In maybe like you might probably know when you're in the Premier, you probably might know a few who's going well. But in the lower division, maybe it might be your first game in Division 4.
I think to say no, or for a referee not to check the league table, is naive on the referee. The referee should know the status of the game that they're going into.
Yeah.
I'm going to be devil's advocate. Why, if you should treat every game the same? Should it matter if you've looked at it?
Because you should have as much awareness about the game to have you're going in under the same mindset, but the more awareness about the importance of the game, where teams are, the better. Like if you were doing 2 games and you knew the second game,
could be a title contender.
Or a relegation.
Mm.
If you think that you're not up to the 2 games, you have an obligation to the league and the clubs and the players to say,
Take me out there.
take me out of the first game. I'll focus on the second game.
Mm.
And the referee should have that. Should assess that themselves.
Yeah.
And if they're not capable, they should be man enough or woman enough to say, "There's only
That's
one game in my body this week, and I'm going to focus on that."
Padraig wouldn't be happy with you, but still.
Yeah, but the players would.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's look at the end of the day, it should be the players.
Yeah.
And that's.
And in fairness, now, unlike years ago, I think the players in Division 5 are putting as much effort as
Yeah. I will leave it down.
the
And
Premier.
I had a big argument with Padraig a couple of weeks ago when he changed a couple of fixtures in during the week, and like I was there saying under no circumstances should we, because the fixtures were being changed on a Wednesday. I was there. If I was managing any of them clubs that are involved, my thought process starts that Sunday evening. I'm talking to the players Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday about what the job that they have next week. For you just to come and change a fixture like that, I wasn't happy with it. You know, like, you know, he didn't change his mind, but I was just stating that I wasn't happy with it.
Go back. I jumped to Division 4 there. I should have went to
Yeah,
4A first. So
I was going
results
to
of
pull you
that.
back.
Gorey Celtic, who were flying after winning Division 5 last year, 4-2 again, Fastnet's second team. KM 1-all with Ross Birkin. Campile 3-all with St. Joseph's. Ferns, Kilmore beating Ferns 7-3. Bit of a surprise there, I suppose. And with the heavy result. And Rosslare 1-0 winners again, Bowes. And on top of that, Kilmore.
Yeah, well, I suppose it would have, you on last year's results, you definitely would have thought it was a surprise, but Kilmore are going really well.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
Ferns'
Ferns are
third team.
struggling in the
It's
third
Ferns'
team, yeah, at
I
the
was thinking
bottom
of
of
their
that.
second team,
So,
yeah.
but look at in fairness to Gorey Celtic, it looks like they kept the core of last year's team, and they're thereabouts. Campile's first team haven't got off to a great start, but their second team are within touching distance of that as well. So
I actually thought I expected KM to have a good panel of players this year. Darren Orban, I expected them to be further up the league in that one.
yeah, they've been a bit of a struggle. Fastnet finished the season so strong last year, and maybe St. Anne's down there has hindered them. I'd say maybe their first team has taken some of their B team lads. So when they get back over the next couple of weeks, you could see Fastnet climb that table as well.
Yeah, 3-8, a lot of Enniscorthy interest in this one, Nicky. Enniscorthy United losing out 3-0 to Gorey Rangers. Blackwater beating the Mine 1-0. Rosslare Strand 4-2 winners again. Timon, I think Danny O'Reilly got a hat-trick in that one.
Well done,
And
Danny.
Glenbarntown losing out to Ferns 3-2. And Enniscorthy United winning 4-1 again, Feathered.
Yeah, even a lot of Enniscorthy district teams in it. Like you're talking, Blackwater just outside of Enniscorthy, but your Ferns, your Crossbeg, Wexford Town. Yeah, look at it. The Mine struggling a little bit down towards the end, but I'm sure they'll straighten up over the next couple of weeks. It's been a bit of a choppy start for them, hasn't it?
Love how you dig at Marsden, don't you?
No, I didn't. No, but I seen their team.
I'm shook, Nicky, I'm shook.
I seen their team the other day, and actually they're probably they I think they'll go quite well in it. You know, once the A team settles down, Blackwater are going well again, and Rosslare Strand, two clubs now that are just back into the league, and it just shows what momentum can do. Like
You look at Ferns across the bag winning or promoted from the division below last year,
yeah.
doing well.
Yeah, but as I was just saying there, with you have St. Cormac's, like sometimes people see a club kind of dropping out of the league, they're thinking, this is it, will they ever come back? Blackwater, Rosslare Strand and St. Cormac's are proof in the pudding that if it's not going well, stop, recalibrate, get the thing going again, and it doesn't all be lost. So it's great to see.
A team on the top or the bottom of the table there, could I dare bring up maybe why they might be there in a county final at the weekend.
Feathered.
Yeah, the GA. Yeah, I get told to stop talking about the GA on this now, Neil. But any opinion on that? Should be more done to help clubs like you were mentioning earlier about when you were going out to ref, the rural clubs that are obviously look Feathered. They're not that bad in fairness to be losing 5 games in that division. It's obviously in a county
They
final.
lost them.
County final is just to be more to help, and it's not helping the clubs, and it's not, as Nicky was saying, pandering to GA. It's to help the players who want to play all the sports. Could more be done?
I think so, yeah. I'm just looking at Blackwater. I'm living in Blackwater now, and the team is a very young team, very strong team, but they're going to be hampered by the GAA soon, like all the clubs. Can more be done? I don't know. If they change the league term and it runs concurrent with the GAA, it's going to be hindered even more. My opinion on that is, we discussed it downstairs, is that there should be less clubs in the county. Split it into districts, 3 or 4 clubs in each district, and
That's radical.
it is radical. But what will happen is it'll improve the standard. Look at the rugby. Look at Leinster, Connacht, Ulster, and Munster. 4 clubs in Ireland. Base it on that model within the county, and I think you'll get the cream of all the players, and probably a better feed into the Wexford FC teams as well from local players.
I said it to Aidan, I've said it on this show. I think changing the calendar of football is going to near enough create that. If you see already, you have Gorey and North End look like they're going to be the 2 super clubs. There's a position there for whether it's a team from Enniscorthy and a team from New Ross. So whether it be Ross Celtic or Ross Town, Shamrock Rovers, the Mine, Enniscorthy, Ajax, whoever gets their house in order, gets out, gets the pool of players. I can see that happening already. Do you know that there'll be 4 major super clubs and your rural clubs, your mammies, your daddies who have little Johnny, who, and we'll just use Rathnure, who are going really well in GA this year. Johnny's coming through Rathnure's underage and he wants to be a soccer player, he doesn't want to be to hurl. He's going to come to Enniscorthy. And then it's up to whichever super club that is in Enniscorthy at the time. And I think that'll happen more naturally without anybody sitting around a counter. Like, and even if you look at it now, we're heading that way quite quickly. I expect North End and Gorey to be top of the Premier, whether it's North End or Gorey or North End.
Yeah.
I expect North End and Gorey to be top of Division 1 as well, and it's looking that way. And they're probably the 2 top teams in the youths. Now, I know Gorey dropped points the other day against Camolan. It was a bit of a shock, but you would be thinking North End and Gorey are going to be maybe the top 1, 2 or 3 in the Premier youths. So we're heading that way already. It's just up to the next 2 towns, your New Ross or your Enniscorthy clubs to catch up with them, I think.
But Gorey and North End are kind of a bit like what Neil was saying about dividing the districts. Like Gorey are one of 2 clubs in Gorey, and the population is just under the population of Enniscorthy. You have Wexford, you've only 3 clubs of Wexford, Celtic, Bows and North End. In the population Wexford have, like, and then you come to Enniscorthy, you have 5 clubs, like.
You've only 2 clubs in your Ross. That's
Yeah,
I'm using that as an
Ross,
example,
yeah.
right? You've a Ross Birkin and
That's what I mean. I
that
think
kind of
with
stuff,
the population in Gorey and Wexford, North End and Gorey should be where they are, and because they have a peak of underage, they have a peak of a lot. Like, and don't get me wrong, to put in savage work. I was down in Gorey. In fairness, our under 14s were down in Gorey last Saturday. There's 2 under 14 games on one pitch. They're doing savage work down there. North End doing savage work. They're putting the work in. Every club's putting the work in, but they do have the population. As you have in Enniscorthy, you know, every club has, as you know yourself, every club has 5 clubs of underage teams. So we're all looking for the same chaps like that. And I think that goes back to your point about maybe too many clubs. There probably is too many clubs in Enniscorthy.
Which clubs in Enniscorthy would you get rid of?
I was going to say, could you see anyone going together?
No,
There's no
you
need to get
can't.
rid of it.
No.
Any club, you could just have one club as you could have 2 academies.
Yeah.
You could have an adult club, male and female, and you focus on the quality rather than the quantity.
Well, look at it. The FAI have stated today that they're voting for calendar year football, so they're going to go head to head with GAA.
We'll have
listen, that'll be probably a show on its own.
So on next week, that we'll
another
know more
night
about
when
it.
there's a bit more detail in it. Look at. I think Niall's idea isn't. I don't think we're actually too far away from it. Maybe not as drastic. No, I don't see clubs coming together, but I definitely see super clubs being formed out of this. And then once you see the super clubs, you'll see the smaller rural clubs. I'm just using Rathnure's as the example again, like, because they're going quite well in the hurling. They'll start to struggle, and you'll see people emigrating towards town clubs.
Yeah, move on then to the Division 3. The interesting division this year. We've Bree 1-0 with Shamrocks. Gorey Celtic beating Duncannon 2-0. Wexford Celtic losing out to Leonards 2-1. And Bunclody beating Killeen 3-2.
Yeah, I was actually up. You had to skip in Division 3, yeah, did you?
Oh, done that a few minutes
oh,
ago.
you did too, yeah, sorry.
Doesn't listen,
No, I don't. I was actually up at the Shamrock Rovers Bree game. To be honest, I got up. I went over to watch a bit of Ajax and Bows and a gale force wind blowing across the pitch. So I went over to see was there any more shelter in Shamrock Rovers, and it was just as bad. So you couldn't watch the game and say it was a good game. No, like nobody could get the ball down. They could try and play it. And in fairness, from what I seen of it, there was very little goal scoring chances. So I thought it was a level enough game. Haven't seen Bree much, but they're young side. And
Yeah, they're on Sells and McGlody both played 5 games, 13 points. Rosstown game more on 12 points. I think Killian Thomas for them with 10 goals, which is fair going in 6 games, isn't it?
yeah, he goal scorer. The one team you probably will see coming up through that, obviously, Eden, should be the All-Gay team over the next couple of weeks. Shamey, Paddy, and a lot of these lads. And
After their county final at the weekend.
what county final is that?
In county junior, you'll be inviting them back to the White House, but you don't know what county final they're in.
I won't. They'll be in Murners if I get.
I'm sure you'll get them at some stage.
No.
We move on then to Division 2. Results up here now. Escar United, their first defeat of the season. Lose out to Rosslare 3-0. Bridge losing out to Wexford Boys 4-1. Ballymurn losing out to Fastnet 2-0. 3 games, interesting results. Nicky Fastnet getting heavily beaten last week, then turn around beating Ballymurn this week. And I suppose big question now for Escar United, had 5 wins out of 5. How to react after the heavy defeat, and as maybe this is a turning point for Denny down in Rosslare to get things going for them.
Yeah, big defeat for United. They were flying, so it'll be interesting to see what their reaction is going to be. Definitely, you can never write off Denny Carty when his back is against the wall. I'm sure he came out with cryptic messages to them Rosslare lads down there. Some of the stuff he does be putting up on Instagram, you do be mind-boggling at times, but I'm sure there's a message behind it that Denny understands a lot of it. And look at as we said before, Ed, he's one of the best football coaches in the county, so he was really going to get them going. A big win for Fastnet, really big win against Ballymurn. They've had some ding-dong battles over the last 2 seasons, so for them to meet each other early in the season, it was a really, really big win. I probably fear a little bit for Ballymurn. I thought they were going to go really, really well this year. They have 2 defeats, drawn 1. So, like I know we've said it already, they've missed a few of the GA lads and things like that. But look, you can't give clubs a run, especially the higher you go up divisions. It's Division 2 now. Last year maybe Division 3 you could slip up in 1 or 2 games. You won't get them chances against your Bridge Rovers, your Enniscorthy Uniteds, Tom Brack, rock solid. So they don't give up chances. Obviously you have Rosslare Rangers as well. So I'd be a little bit concerned for Ballymurn. They have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, it was 2 surprise teams for me for different reasons. Wexford Boys, one of 2 second teams in it, flying second on the table. And then Curraclaw without a win, 1 draw. The size of their club and all Niall down there, you'd expect them to do better.
Yeah, I played with Curraclaw for about 4 years, and when I played the 3 teams, I was on the 3rd team, but there was lots and lots of players. There was a big panel even for the 3rd team, and for the size of the parish, they should be doing a lot better.
Yeah, look, they have everything. The facilities, the dressing rooms, the pitches. Pitch is fabulous. We were down on it this year with the over 35s. They have everything down there, but sometimes it just happens. It goes through cycles like that, doesn't it? You know, so you will be expecting them to bounce back. Dropping down through the divisions is not great. You'll want the bounce back ability quite soon, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If you lose 1 or 2 players from the smaller clubs, important players, big players, it has a
personalities.
Yeah, it has a big impact.
Yeah, Tom Brack, the only team with a 100% record. You've put them favourites, Nicky?
You definitely put them up there. I was very impressed with Enniscorthy United. There was no superstar on the team. Like they worked. I've seen him twice this year. The like Eden, you've played against Fort Celtic numerous times and managed against them. Like for no matter when you go play Fort Celtic, you have to work really really hard. And the day Enniscorthy United played Fort Celtic, they actually worked twice as hard as Fort, and they won all them little niggly breaky balls that you want to be winning. So that really really did impress me with United. Bridge Rovers are going to be quite strong down that division. You would be thinking. But no, Tom Brack won't be too far away from it. The only thing with Tom Brack, they're a little bit of an aging team, aren't they? So, they'll definitely want to be trying to get a league title before one or two of them step away.
Yeah, on top of the scoring charts, and that is Jack Carney and Sam Waldron with 6 goals each. You know Sam fairly well yourself, don't you?
Yeah, Sam is in with Shamrock Rovers. Just a lovely chap, really nice chap, and a really really good footballer. I suppose being back around looking at Rovers games and things like that, Sam is one of the lads that they wouldn't have wanted to lose out to go back out to Ballymurn. So he's a big loss. And in fairness to Jack, I know Jack quite well as well. He had a
He came in
great
from Bree
season.
last
Yeah,
year,
he had a
yeah.
great season with Bree last year. What I like about Jack, he doesn't, I mean this in the best possible way, he doesn't look like much of a player when a play is going on, but he always finds himself in that penalty box, 6-yard area, and he's an out-and-out goal scorer, and they're worth their weight in gold.
And move on then to Division 1, if I can find it. Kilmore 3-3 with Glenbarntown. Campile losing out to Cora Ramblers 2-0. I think that dartboard down there has changed from me to you and Cora.
Cora, why?
Do we criticising poor old John? North End 1-0 winners again. Rattenure down to 10 men early in that, and the Derby Cortown drawn 0-0 with Gorey. Table familiar look to it with North End and Gorey. Don't see it changing much over the year, Niall, do you?
No, I think it's going to reflect the top of the Premier, as he was saying, and that's it's probably a problem in itself for Wexford soccer. And it's to have that kind of two top tier teams in the first and second division. Like both those teams could probably play in the Premier.
Yeah, look, you could. When you look at Gorey's
push to it.
side, you Joe Bulger, Niall Keys, Killeen Cush, and these lads, and even you look down through that North End team, like I know Nobby and Warren Brothers are on the wrong side of 30s, but these guys are going around with pocketfuls of Premier medals and
All Ireland medals
and All Ireland FAIs and this, like, so look, they're great players, like, and it goes to show the work that the both clubs are doing. Last year North End a bit of a blip. The year didn't go well, but they're definitely back, going quite well in that division. But what I do like about the North End, they've blended in a couple of young lads. Willie Dempsey's young lad Liam is in the squad. Dean Hillis is in the squad as well. So to have that little bit of a youth blend. Like I know Alan Colgate and Craig Maguire, they were both playing in North End when first team when we went into Shamrock Rovers. So both very, very good players. Craig, I think, could have been one of the best players in Wexford, only for he was continuously injured. So like they're good football heads on him, like, so.
But there's a long way to go.
Oh, there is. A
lot of clubs now are going to come back a bit stronger. You know, like your Coras are going to want to be up there. Cortown, Ajax, Kilmore, coming up last year, will want to have a say in it.
It was a big result for Cortown, not to be losing to Gorey in that. I think Gorey, whether it's the first team or second team, have had a bit of a hoodoo over Cortown for a number of years. So that was a big one to go. I know Campile this year have just solely gone with young lads, and they're concentrating on youth. The results are probably showing that they're maybe with inexperience and things like that. But look at they're doing Trojan work down there. They're going to have floodlights and all down there, and they've great pitches and all like that. So look, they won't be long bouncing back.
On to the Premier then, Bunclody 2-0 winners. Paul Nolan and Dion Dunn getting the two goals for them. No real surprise in that one.
No, you probably would have expected it, Aidan. Yeah, Bunclody, top of the table. After 4 games, in fairness, 3 wins and a draw.
Whereas we both had said that we thought they probably would do well because of the clubs in around the middle. They were probably further ahead than everyone else with their coaching and the team. They wasn't hit with the GA, I don't think. So
And don't forget their club they are hurting at the minute. With what's gone on up there, there's such sad events up there over the last couple of months, and they lost another club member there a couple of weeks ago as well. So, like they're obviously going out there with a point to prove week in, week out. Yeah, look at fair play to them. 3 wins out of 4. Their score difference is a little bit different. It's funny, they're -1. They're top of the Premier, scored 5, conceded 6. So, but look at the end of the year, if they were to win 4 games or 3 games in every 4 games they play this year, they'll be right up the top of the Premier.
And we've Dapo on Paul Murphy on top of the table on the goal scoring charts with 4 each.
Yeah.
Bows are on the bottom of the division. Ross Celtic, then what is it? Ferns, All Blacks, Mine, Shamrocks, Crossabeg, Gorey, but there's no point really go through the division. There's not enough games played there yet. A lot of teams have only played 2 games.
Yeah.
We move on to Leinster then. Fantastic win for North End away at the Trim last Saturday, 2-1 winners. We're probably delighted it was on the Saturday, didn't have to play in the weather. Ajax losing out to Wexford Boys and all Wexford tie 5-2. Ross Celtic beating Collection 3-2. St. George's losing out to Kilkenny Giants Evergreen 7-1. And Knock Celtic walk over to Shelbourne. And Gorey Rangers 3-2 winners against Dublin Celtic. Ferns United losing out to Balbriggan 4-2. Shamrocks good win after extra time up in Crettyard, Nicky 3-2. And Crossabeg losing out after extra time to Stoneford, and Fort Celtic beating Kyle Dove. I suppose the surprise there is Crossabeg losing out to Kilkenny Division 1 team. I think they'll be disappointed with that.
You giving out about Crossabeg?
Yeah, Joe's under pressure. Joe's under pressure now. 3 games without a win.
Are you looking for a job?
No.
Yeah, look at Crossabeg have been a little bit stoppy-starty, haven't they? Do you know, so I'm sure Joe is just looking for a run of consistency between now and Christmas, with a consistent group of players. So yeah, look at that was a little bit of a surprise. Ferns were right in the game. I think they were winning at one stage during their game against Balbriggan. And it's unusual to see Ferns getting turned over at home. They've quite a good record at home. It's a tough place to go to and get a result. Shamrock Rovers, a great win for the lads, in fairness, up there. Yeah. They showed a right bit of grit from what I've been told. They were 2-1 down the last minute, and Eddie Black got an equaliser to bring it to extra time. And Luke Boxwell scored the winner. So, like Crettyard, they're always tough, and even tougher to go to Carlow. I always found it tough going up to Carlow to get results. So yeah, big win, and obviously North End are taking everything very, very serious this year. That Trim Celtic.
I think North End have been very impressive to dispatch the freebooters who were no mugs last week. Trim now this week. I'm going to put it out there. I think they could possibly win everything. And I mean, FEI Leinster,
You said 2 seconds ago you couldn't look at the Premier because not enough games, and now they're going to win.
I just think when the last time Gary was with him, I don't think they lost a game.
No.
He was only coach. He's manager
outside.
Now.
Outside it. Yeah.
Outside
competitions. He didn't lose a game.
I know it's a brave statement and could turn again a bit like what I said about on Saturday night when they hit that rocky patch and get maybe a result that they shouldn't get. Mm-hmm. How does it all cope?
It could now. They've a big game this week. They've Trinity Donemead this week in the Leinster Senior Cup. If they win that, then they go into a group stage with the League of Ireland clubs, and that's what caught Evergreen last year.
Yeah, but Evergreen don't have the B team that.
Yeah, but Evergreen don't play in the same caliber league as the Wexford Premier League.
Yeah, no, but what?
Do you know? So like,
you said yourself the players that are on their B team, and you can give a squad of 20 for that A team anyway without even going into that B team. Like them B team players will be well able to play in that Leinster Senior Cup.
I think he has a comfort blanket, or North End have a comfort blanket. The manager is top class, huge amount of experience. They have a huge amount of experience in the first team, and the wider panel. But their main comfort blanket is when they have to play the routine games as they come to the end of the season. The ones the bankers, if you like, they have a huge Division 1 team that they can take players.
Oh yeah,
so that reserve, if you like, it's like an energy reserve. So they'll draw on that.
Oh yeah.
So you've 40 players really.
Yeah, and like to probably qualify my point, Evergreen have a massive squad. They're not half as competitive a league. And last
Yeah.
year, then they had a run of games where they played, I think it was 6 games in a fortnight. It was FAI quarterfinal, a Leinster Junior Cup quarterfinal, 2 Leinster Senior Cup games, and 2 massive league games. And they ended up losing a shot of them and were out of competitions in a heartbeat.
Yep.
You can have a week like that. And as I spoke with Gary Marr, he was just there saying that the lads, the day they went down to Wexford Bows, they were literally just running on empty. Do you know, they had week after week after week. And in fairness, he said to me, Bows were outstanding that day. Todd Hines ripped them apart. He said they were never going to win it. Do you know, like, so like that could be one of the things. It's hard. It is very, very hard to compete on all across the whole lot.
Yeah. We finish up on that. Thanks then, Neil, for coming in, and to Peter. It was interesting to find out about the role of the Observer, and just thank the two of you for coming in, and just want to wish Wexford FC all the best in the playoff tomorrow night and Monday.
Yeah, and I don't know what we're doing next week, but best of luck to Willie and the Oscar trainers next Wednesday night. I don't know if we do a show Tuesday or Thursday or whatever, but best of luck to the lads out next Wednesday night.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you.